Alright, hello everyone, I'm Viperish Lotus75. I'm the executive director of TV5 Entertainment. And you probably were expecting a gaming video, of course. But I thought, hey, for this week, I thought I'd start something new. I thought I'd start with something kind of like a podcast, but in video form. And I thought, hey, let me try this in hand. So for this week, it's going to be about Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Logan Paul. And you may hear me mess up in words a few times, so if you hear me dit or something like that, shut up about it. But in all seriousness, so this week, like I said again, it will be the fight about Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, which will take place on February 20th, 2021. That is the date that it is supposed to be on. So we'll see when that happens. And I just wanted to say, I wanted to talk about this subject because it interested me that Logan Paul wants to fight Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers of our time. I feel like maybe this exhibition match will get huge publicity, of course, on both sides of the ring. From that side being Logan Paul's fans and the other side being Floyd Mayweather's fans. But the one thing I would have to say to Floyd Mayweather is, and I'm not calling out age or anything, like this is just like a thing I want to say, is just to watch out and be careful. He's a 43-year-old man, and he hasn't been back in the ring since the fight with Conor McGregor back in 2017. I did see that fight, and that fight was pretty good for Floyd Mayweather. He definitely did show that he hasn't lost his skills at the time. But let's see if he can show those skills for the exhibition fight against Logan Paul. I am anticipating that Mayweather will bring his same legendary skills to the ring coming this February. And with Mayweather's professional boxing record, he has 50 wins and 0 losses in the professional career. I want to see if he can make that 51 wins and 0 losses. Now this is just, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm expecting this highly from Mayweather, and I am eager to see that this takes place in the exhibition fight. But with Logan Paul on the other hand, I haven't gotten much to see from Logan Paul. Usually whenever I hear the name Logan Paul, all I think about is his video from Japan where he filmed a dead corpse and posted it all over the World Wide Web. But what also comes to mind when I hear Logan Paul is the fight with KSI, which is another famous YouTuber, for those who don't know. But I've only gotten to see little parts of the fight. Like, I was one of those people that actually tried going on the web and looking up the KSI versus Logan Paul fight on either Twitch or YouTube. And for some stances, I would get pretty lucky. But with the fight itself, I would only get maybe 20 or 30 seconds of the fight, and then the video would get shut down. So that's what I thought was kind of stupid. So that's why I claim to see only little parts of the fight, is because I didn't actually pay for the fight, since it did not interest me too much. But it kind of interested me enough to go on the web and look up some streams about it. But I'm not really going to talk about the fight in general, since I've only seen bits and parts of it. And even though this video is supposed to be focused on Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. But I did check out the scorecard, and the fight was a draw the first time around. And while the rematch took place the following year, it did not show any success to Paul, as KSI won by split decision, which makes Paul's professional boxing record 0 wins and 1 loss. So for this upcoming fight with Floyd Mayweather, I personally do not see the 0 number going up. Because this is just, again, my opinion. You guys are entitled to your own opinions. Like, if you have your own opinion, I can respect that, I'm not gonna bash you out for your other opinions because why would I want to do that? You know. But this is just me personally. I don't see Paul's boxing record going up to one win. I expect it to stay the same because Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers of all time. I mean, I feel like Floyd Mayweather is going to crush Logan Paul in the ring. Now, people may feel differently again, but you're entitled to your own opinion. But now, Logan is 25 and Floyd is 43. So I would have to say, Mayweather, he's just got to be careful in the ring. Now, I'm not saying his skills are fastly deteriorating, and I'm not saying his skills are not how they used to be. Like, sure, I'm expecting only like 5 or 10% of diminished product. But I believe he still has the same amazing skill factors that everyone expects. But, with that being said though, I feel like age does play a factor in this fight. So, chances of getting hurt are more common as age progresses, and with Mayweather, I would have to say he has to be careful to make sure he doesn't get hurt too much in the ring. Because then again, fighting at 43 years old is much different from how you were fighting at like 33 or something like that. Or maybe 26 or 27. I think it's much different. I think as age progresses more, I feel like the frailness just kind of starts to kick in. I'm not saying for everybody. I'm just saying for some certain people that the frailness would kind of come to kick in. And like you get hurt a little bit more easily. And with Floyd Mayweather, that's the thing I would be scared of with him. With his age right now, 43 years old, you just got to make sure he doesn't get hurt as badly, you know. But overall, I'm expecting the same great skills as he usually brings to the table. Like, that's a definite for me. Like, I've seen his skills dating back to Mayweather versus Pacquiao in 2015. Of course, you know, we all know what happened then. But dating up to that time, I've seen his skills, and I've seen his skills progressing in the years moving forward. So I would say I do expect the great skill. But now I would say Mayweather, he will win this fight by flying colors. Like, that's just my belief. There's no doubt about it for me. But I feel like Logan Paul, being in the ring with one of the greatest boxers of our generation, I don't think he stands a chance with Mayweather. Now again, people may feel different, but that's fine. Like, who the hell am I to tell you to think differently about your opinions? But what I would feel is he going to last in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? For me, I believe that absolutely not. Definitely not. Mayweather has an excellent boxing score. He's been in the professional boxing ring for a long time. And he has the experience in the professional boxing ring, where Paul has only been in the professional boxing ring one time. So in my opinion, that wouldn't be too much experience. Where Mayweather, he's got the years of experience in the boxing ring. So I would expect that more because of the skill and the experience that he has. And he did lose that one time against his one fight with KSI. So I would have to say personally, and listen, I'm not a professional boxing commentator, I'm not a professional sports commentator, nor do I claim to be a professional commentator. Like, for me, I'm just an 18-year-old kid. Like, for my commentating skills, they're at the low, alright? So, but I can build up my commentating skills once I get better at it and pick out more subjects to think. But I'm an 18-year-old commentator. I'm not a professional. I'm just stating my opinion. But for me in this case, I would vouch for Jake Paul over Logan Paul between the two Paul brothers. Like, definitely Jake Paul for me. Like, Jake Paul, he has had some experience in the boxing ring. Like, with his fight against Nate Robinson, we all know what happened then, too. We've all seen that brutal knockout that he did to Robinson. His professional scores, like, they seem pretty decent to me. 2 wins and 0 losses. Now I feel like Jake Paul could make something of himself in boxing. Like, he's had that experience towards boxing. He's been taking classes against that. Like, he's been doing it for a while. And he's won those fights that made him a professional boxer. Like his fight with Nate Robinson. One of the most impressive actions I've seen against Jake Paul. Like, I'm going to be honest. That's very impressive for me. But then again, with Nate Robinson not really being too much of the boxing and his lack of skill and experience in the ring, I was expecting Paul to take a huge win from the fight. And that's exactly what he did to Robinson. They both got in the ring. Like Jake Paul, he got in the ring. He put his skills on the table. He put them to work. And the outcome is the success that he got and the victory that he claimed. So yeah, that's exactly what he did to Robinson. And like, to tell you the truth, in my eyes, it felt like I was going back to 1934. It felt like I was going back to my childhood in my grandparents' house, watching one of my favorite comedies of all time, The Three Stooges. Whereas Mo, Larry, and Curly, in that episode Punch Drunks, become a boxing team where Larry is supposed to take out his violin and play Pop Goes the Weasel for Curly to get all his fighting power. Because in the short, he's like, whenever I hear that weasel tone, something pops inside of me, and everything goes black. And they put that skill to work. And he wins all these fights that they both plan together and all that. And he finally comes to face the champion to see if he can become the new champion and knock him out, which of course is true. And he becomes the undefeated champion of the short. The new undefeated champion, I should say. I feel like Jake Paul was Curly in that thing. Like, he had all the fighting power he needed to effectively take out Nate Robinson. Now again, with skill and experience. That's one of the big factors that would play in the situation. Because with Pop Goes the Weasel, he had all the experience and skill he needed to take out Nate Robinson. Because, like, I was watching Teddy Atlas. And, like, Teddy Atlas, he's a good commentator. Like, he's good. It's like, he's been in the boxing long enough, and he sees all the experience and all that, and he knows how to effectively commentate it very well. Then again, it's just my opinion. I personally like Teddy Atlas. And one thing I took away from his commentation fight with or his commentation of the fight between Jake Paul and Nate Robinson is, like, with Nate Robinson, it's like he was walking on the moon. I'm trying to remember this correctly. It's like, without the experience that he had, it's like he was walking on the moon and he got off the spaceship with no space helmet on. And because of that outcome, that's how he got choked out by Jake Paul against that. But back on track here, do I think Jake Paul could get in the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather? I would kind of personally pay to see that happen. Then again, I still see Mayweather taking the huge advantage over Jake Paul, though. But I feel like that could be possible